Hello everybody. So we just did a video on our 78 rm250 and now we're going to move on to the 400s here. We got two fairly similar bikes. I've owned them now for, oh golly, over 10 years probably. Never received the money or the love they really should have, but they've been good bikes nonetheless. Taken to a lot of the tracks up and down the whole East Coast. These bikes have been to Unadilla, Budds Creek, Tomahawk, a bunch of the old Ahrma races several times. They've always done real good. Got them set up a little different though. On the one on the left, she's got Fox air shocks, real deal ones, not the Vintco replicas. And the bike on the right, it's got old school Works Performance shocks on it. Take a close up of the fins under the number plate in just a minute. For now we'll do a little walk around. Now, for being big open class bikes, both these machines handle very well. They handle a lot more like 250s. I think even the reviews back in the day said very similar things. They're not super high horsepower open classes or anything like that. In fact, they make a very usable amount of power. To get a little bit more out of this one here with the Works Performance shocks on, I've got a huge rear sprocket on it. It makes these two bikes different. Here, I'll step back and see if you can tell the difference. Even just from this angle, you can tell that that one is 10 teeth bigger or something like that. Really makes them ride completely different. Makes this bike pretty aggressive when it wants to be. Sometimes it catches you by surprise. So there's those fins on those Works Performance shocks. These older bodies are getting harder to find. Both have a Cherbis NOST front fenders on them. And the number 55 bike, I've got a really ugly front number plate on it. At some point here, that'll have to get changed out. But yeah, like I said, I've owned these bikes for about 10 years or so now. I got them from a big heavy hitter in the vintage motocross scene for a long time, Aldo Riccardi. Aldo, if you're out there, please comment. I'd love to get back in touch with you, man. But picked up 3 or so of these bikes off him. They were all in parts and slapped them back together. Like I said before, never really spent a heck of a lot of money on them, so they're fairly budget build Ahrma racers, but they did pretty good. Have done good since. Now, a lot of people, you know, they won't really nitpick their bikes and tell you the bad stuff about them, but I do have to say that even though these RMs are reliable and they do a lot of stuff really good, they get a lot of reverberation. They got a lot of shake in them and everything. Kind of the same way people complain about a lot of the open classers, especially the old YZ490s and things like that. But what it really comes down to is that front engine mount. Suzuki had the casings set to be a little bit bigger than the bolt was originally, and that just kind of wallows out over time. So these ones, at some point, I am going to step up the bolt size on them. Hopefully that helps them out a lot. Got several of these old 400 motors and parts, and you see how often they could tear those casings up. Now, this one here's got slightly wider foot pegs on it, which definitely helps keep your feet on in comparison to the stock ones like this bike has over here. The only problem is now it kind of puts your ankle in danger when you're kickstarting these bikes. So I don't know if that's a mod most people want to do. In fact, I might change that out myself at some point because it seems to be very dangerous. It's caught me off guard a couple times and I've full force hit my ankle right into it. As far as the shocks go, I think the Works Performance ones are a little better, but the Fox Airs, they do have some bling to them. They look really good. Both these bikes could use a good bath like most of mine, but then again, I ride them so often and get them so dirty, it's hard to wash this many machines. Oh, my seats are a little palled up because I used to have an orange house cat named Eddie, and he used to hop on my bikes and tear my seats up a little bit. And back then that made me real upset, but now that he's not around, they kind of make me happy. Guess he thought I needed a little more traction. He turned them into gripper seats for me. Well, the next video we do, we'll compare the 400 to the 250, and then we'll compare it to a 125 as well. The whole Suzuki family tree besides the Mini, and I guess the 100. Well, thank you everybody. If you got any comments about these bikes, let us know. Otherwise, please subscribe. We could really use it. Thank you.